promise, guys, our third match of the night, which will be a halfway point, is MOPP4 versus Strike. We have both captains ready. I believe it's Conflict and White May on the line. Let's go ahead and get ready for our face-off. What's up, guys? What's up, Conflict? How you doing, man?
How's it going, buddy?
Doing good. So I do want to ask you, you guys got a rough start to the league. You guys are 0-2, losing to Simp and Wreak Havoc. But how are you guys going to turn it around this time?
We've done a lot more practicing. We've gone through literally every map. We have our lineups pre-selected, our players pre-selected. We want to do pre-selecteds for every map and every side. So we've tried to prepare a lot more over the course of the week. We've had a lot more free time. One of our members was in the hospital. He just got out, so we're kind of recovering from a lot of team issues this week. So we hope to do a lot better.
All right, cool. The second thing I want to ask is that you guys have been getting a lot of flack for kind of playing more defensive and turtley. What do you have to say in response to that?
I think that's just a result of not being where we want it to be in terms of preparation and having a lot of, team issues. So that automatically you have to go, I guess, into a defensive stance. But that is not how we like to play. So that's all I'll say about that.
Hey, it's understandable.
That makes me excited.
No one wants to play slow. Everyone wants to attack. And I think if you guys are practicing, do you think you're going to be on the attack more?
It really depends on the situation. It really depends on the situation. We like to play on the attack, so I'll say that much.
All right, cool. So we want to also ask some questions to White May. White May, you lost 0-2 in your beginning matches. What are you fixing for the next coming match?
We do a lot of practice. Just did the training, and we will focusing on the city map.
Okay. Cool, so you guys are practicing a lot more. I want to ask about your series against Wreak Havoc. What were you guys thinking in the last moments when on Abby?
Me?
Yes, like what were you, how was the team dynamic against Wreak Havoc and Abby?
There was a bad luck, I think.
We won't have to talk about that too much. In fact, we want to get you guys to your battle stations immediately. So let's go ahead and do the coin toss. The coin toss. Conflict, you are the higher seed. What are you gonna call?
Tails, please.
All right, Tails never fails, and it never fails. The Eagle is the winner. What are you gonna pick in your map?
We'll take steps, please.
All right, steps. And White May, you choose the spawn.
I will say south.
South side. Okay, so we're going to have steps south for Strike, and north will go to MOPP4. Thank you, guys, and good luck in your battle. I don't really see any way of MOPP4 pushing into Strike. I mean, keep in mind that MOPP4 did get the first map choice. Maybe they pick steps because they feel confident to draw it out and then trying to let things play out from there. So we have 50 seconds on the clock, but I don't foresee any true movement coming out just yet. But Strike, they're the defensive team. They're very good responding to big attacks, rearranging and covering and making sure that they survive. They're very good in those positions. When we've seen Strike try to go aggressive, that's when they've kind of fallen apart in the past.
Yeah, and they actually are set up perfectly for the only attack that I would consider truly viable against this position. There's two T-69s, Lustburn and Megumio. You see other than these two bushes on my screen? Yes, perfect, awesome. And they've got great fire down one of the attack lanes that I would consider most viable for MOPP4. I think MOPP4 might have picked up on that kind of positioning, and they're just not going to risk it.
After Captain No Pants took some damage.
Nemesis here coming right at the end.
It won't matter. Tier 1, T1 dying is inconsequential as we do have a draw for the first map of the series. Welcome to Mines. Beautiful little river dock over there, set up by Mr. Joshua Clutch Gray. As we see Plated Mega from Team MOPP4 heading over to the island, the red team in the north side. South side is Strike, as we pointed out earlier. Also kind of spreading out. Again, Strike being a very good defensive team. Looks like they are taking a more defensive position already as two of their T-69s are falling back.
And it does look like Borgata is actually going to the rock where tanks go to die. Borgata is covering the hill, trying to deny that control. And it looks like this is a defense reminiscent of what we saw from Wreak Havoc.
Yeah,
I believe.
and to be completely prepared for any kind of those pushes, whether it's on the hill or even through the island.
Yeah, some really cool crossfires that we could detail if this gets really slow.
A pretty cool formation immediately.
Yeah,
it's
it
kind of
is.
like a football defensive position, right?
Yeah, it's good coverage. Got a few guys in the back ready to cover anyone going way deep. No Hail Marys here.
Oh, you mean American football? I was
Oh.
referencing like actual football.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like international football.
We
or
live in America.
Soccer, as you might call it over in South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what we do it, and we don't talk about football because who plays football?
Actually, South Carolina has a really good football team, don't they?
Which football are we talking about? Got
American football.
American. We got Clemson and we got USC. So I mean,
that's right. Go Cox.
Yes.
First shots on Potato.
Are you a fan of the Cox?
Yeah, you know they have a good team. It's a very good athletic. I think they're D1 right for NCAA. So
all right.
Definitely keep an eye out for them, especially from South Carolina. Don't be ashamed if you're from there.
I'm a bit of a Cox fan, a little bit. On my wall at home in South Carolina, I've got a nice clock and a trash can and some posters.
Well, I'm a fan of the Cox. I'm also a fan of both of these teams. Potato has to be very careful, though, because he did get spotted immediately and lit up. He's now down to basically one shot from a high roll.
217.
Yeah.
So low. That's some really just early damage. Potato just totally didn't need to take. Out there, he's alone. He potatoed, man.
Potato lived up to his name.
Yep.
He lived up to half his name. He ain't 007. He's definitely Potato in that regard.
Not getting those shots out. Yeah. Captain No Pants did take a hit though, and in return, what's he at?
I don't know exactly, but the main point is MOPP4 has done enough to kind of pressure Potato off from potentially moving back.
Oh, his commander's dead actually. That could be huge.
That's annoying. His reload time is basically gonna double.
Yeah, not entirely double. I don't think it'll go down.
Okay, almost double.
Almost double. There you go. But he's going to be down on view range. That's a huge important part. He's not going to have view range, and he's going to perform a little bit less efficiently than he was before. Just every little bit of skill is going to go down. That's just the way the commander affects the whole tank.
A little bit of everything, especially with the Jack of all trades, really helps as well. If another member died, the commander would be able to take over. Not going to be in this scenario.
I've always wondered if Jack of all trades works if your commander dies. I've never actually checked.
I don't think
and
so.
I've never been a fan of Jack of all trades, but it's such a cool crew skill.
It is. It is. It's based. For those of you who don't know, Jack of all trades means that whenever one of your other crew members, that's not your commander, gets knocked out, the commander just takes over that spot and tries to compensate. You won't get full skill.
Yeah. You won't perform at 100%, but
he'll do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think he's like 50 or 75%, as opposed to like horrible performance.
Turn.
Yeah, like just it's definitely worth it at 100%.
One of the first times I played. Oh, what's up, Guitar?
No, I was just gonna wonder. Rickhill, you know, Strike took 2 AMX 1390s but didn't choose to take the hill. Would you consider that a mistake by them, or, you know, is it correct for them to just back off as it's stylistic, etc.?
I'm really not sure about that. 1390 full tank, and wow, ooh.
Nice shots from Stagnate as he's able to take out Potato. Again, Potato, you ain't 007. You're looking more like a vegetable, as Potato is now down, and as a result, MOPP4 is up 8 tier points. And again, check Monster, even though it might be the Rock of Death, he can take a nice hold down position at T32. He did have to burn his kit a lot earlier.
Yep, he does have a cool position. It is a nice hold down for him. He couldn't fire low. If there were tanks down below the hill, too low for him to shoot, there would be a rock in the way. And
couldn't grab the balls, could he?
No, he couldn't. He'd have to go for the horns. And
gotcha.
But White May and Megumio are both in positions where the hold down will work for the T32. So I think that MOPP4 has really discovered the position, and they're working very, very well right now to just defeat the strike defense, which is going to take all of this map. It's going to take all of the 10 minutes to break this and get those 8 points, and they have them. But now is when I would be saying, well, maybe we could do something with this. Let's not take too much risk, but let's get all the ground we can and try to get another 8 points. You want to make sure that that strike isn't going to be able to come back in the last second, even though.
Right, swing something completely like we've seen even before. If we look back at like the Casadora's game versus Scurry Heart, I believe, on Abby.
Last second.
That was like the last second 8-point tier swing. If you're not careful, all it takes is a 2v1, and then you can make something happen. MOPP4, until then, is not pressed for time. They have that 8-tier advantage, 42 to 34. As you can can see in the top center of the screen.
They can take it and win it.
That's right. So the pressure, the initiative is on Strike. The only person kind of in position to do anything remotely aggressive is White May to get maybe a spot. But even then, he's just going to see Check Monster in the T-32.
Probably in hull down.
Yeah, and at best you can maybe penetrate if you get a really good roll in T-69. Barely.
You could go for hatch shots, but I mean, where that T-32 is, Check Monster, he's in a very strong position because he's raised up. If the T-69's at the high ground,
so it's even an angled,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
With the nice
so
hold down
it's
position.
a very tight shot to get that commander's hatch on the top.
So can you penetrate? I mean, it's 298 armor, but then with an angle.
It's such a thin shot. It's so thin that if
but you're saying there's a chance.
Yes.
You said that so reluctantly, Ruka.
There is a chance.
It's tournament accounts. They have unlimited gold rounds.
1,000?
I have actually. There's a
Don't tell me the
really
odds.
cool. There's really cool calculator like out there that like every time you take a shot, there's like a percentage chance it calculates if you're really willing to crunch the numbers while playing a World of Tanks games. I don't really recommend doing that, but there is a calculator for angles and whatnot.
I
think it was on Reddit earlier today. But there is a chance. Man.
There's always a chance.
Probability.
Generally there is a weak spot on every tank. Whenever he's exposed, just
except
a little
the
bit.
T-32, right?
Well, except the T-32.
There's no weak spots.
It's like reverse angling, and then reverse angling is one of the hardest things to break. A hull down, another one of the hardest things to actually pen someone.
Yeah.
Face hugging, we're done very well.
What about like a reverse angle hold down position? That's just like impossible.
Is that even? That's just do you just do? That's too much. I mean, by that point, it's
that's
like,
what we call a try hard, right? In puppies when people are doing that.
It's like you're really reverse angling in a hull down, buddy. Seriously, you're angling your turret and hull down.
That's a little excessive.
Yeah.
But you know what? You can't be too cautious if you're MOPP4 because inevitably Strike has to do something. As right now they're in position to lose if the next 2 minutes nothing happens as the clock is winding down on mines. We have a little bit of rearrangement as a member from Strike, one of their T1s, has moved all the way over closer to the town. But still, MOPP4 has recalled everybody from the island back to the cap.
Yeah, they're definitely ready for a full-on just derp by Strike. And I'm not seeing any movement out of Strike right now. Do they know if they have their 8 points? I mean, Borgata's moving up now. He might go to the rock where tanks go to die. Get some spotting there. Ooh, T-32 gets lit. Good job from Borgata. Great view range here.
He shot. He tried. And he didn't succeed. Oh, wait, no, he did. He got it. Ooh. Nice shot on Check Monster as he will fall back and allow Borgata to get a little bit of advanced position.
Ooh, is it a trap, though? There could be T-69s. I'd be leaving T-69s right by the rock. Just no? Okay. That would be cool. That would have been cool to see two T-69s just pop up. Nuke.
Actually, there are two T-69s ready to go, Randall. So your call is correct. Check Monster is not alone. Strike gonna try to make something happen the last minute of play, and it'll revolve all around this misinformation that MOPP4 has been able to sell. Or is it? Because 4 members from Strike can completely overwhelm just 3 members unless MOPP4 can get some good crossfire. The first initial shots have been initiated, but Check Monster will escape.
Yep, and then we have Borgata going up to the hill, but White May and Megumio, along with Lustburn, look like they want to just push straight down. I was thinking they'd do something more aggressive, but this is kind of, really not sure. I think
a little hesitant. They're not necessarily committing just yet, but Borgata can try to go for the flank and get some shots, maybe on Bockricker. Borgata goes a little bit too far, and he falls down the hill. He is going to get lit up immediately as Plated Mega does finish it off, and that was a big blunder from Strike. That's just going to end the game.
I couldn't get on him in time, and he just went down so quickly. MOPP4, great reaction there. Now it's Megumio and Lustburn, but Megumio's about to go down here. He's 159, and it's over.
That won't matter. MOPP4 takes battle number 2, sitting on their lead and able to draw a member from Strike out of position. Welcome to Himmelsdorf. Nemesis taking out the fury of what could potentially be a lot of tension built up in this series, as MOPP4 is the red team in the bottom half of Himmelsdorf. Strike has chosen the north side, as both teams kind of shoving a lot of their members over towards the eastern side of the map, but MOPP4 is sending one of their heavies. That could be the 5100 or IS3.
Do you think
Haven't
we'll
really
see?
seen it.
Do you think we'll see a big hill fight?
Maybe, you know, it was something like we were saying in the earlier broadcast with Mr. Bitter and Rotterdam, how fights just kind of escalate. Initially, it's like a T1, and the T1 brings a T69 to snipe and then get back into position. And as a result, the other T1 brings a T69, and they bring just more and more until it becomes kind of like West Side Story, where it just becomes an all-out gang fight on the top of the hill.
And it's just so crazy because...
And we're on the western side of Himmelsdorf.
Well, actually, this is the eastern
This
side.
is the Jets versus the Sharks.
Who's which gang?
I don't know. Well, MOPP4 are the white guys, so I would assume that they're the Jets.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense.
That would make, by default, Strike the Sharks. I think I got that right. But most importantly, who on Strike is Maria? It's definitely Potato.
It's got to be Potato.
The T1.
Look at him in the beautiful petite
T1.
tier 1 tank.
So delicate.
Like a flower.
Strike is stacking a bunch of their members at the top of the hill right before they can kind of pop over. Meanwhile, MOPP4 already has 3 members behind the castle, as you can see in just a second. There we go. Captain Minnow Pants played in Mega, Bachrocker. I realize we also haven't discussed the tank composition, but the most important thing you need to know is that MOPP4 has 3 5100s, and they're all on the hill, along with the T69. The first shots being laid out, and White May will take the first hit.
Ooh, but only 1 hit. I think I heard 2 or 3 shots go out. That could be, I don't know.
That could come into play.
That could come hugely into play, especially if they miss 1 more big volley. You could see a push out of Strike. I mean, if they decide to share the damage, yeah, they try and share the damage, they could get in there and just clean up on those 5100s as they reload or as they're on the last shots. It may require 1 more tank to come up to the hill, though, maybe Lustburnt or Megumio to lead the way.
Maybe you can see that. Greetor, what were you trying to say?
No,
what were you trying to point out?
I was saying Conflict was taking a little bit of damage as well, as you can see in that tier 1 battle. Unfortunately.
Another tier 1 might get the punishment, though, Greetor. Yeah. And Greater Van drops immediately, and that gives a pretty decisive advantage for MOPP4, even if they just scale back and pull from it. Even if they do that. But we'll have to see what happens.
Well, we've got actually both Lustburn and Megumio are pushing in their IS-3s. They see all this pressure, and actually, they're going to push straight to Checkmonster. Great shot, tracking and damaging Megumio. That is exactly what he needed to do to slow the assault of these IS-3s. I think he's all alone.
Did Megumi know? Did he burn his repair kit immediately?
Yes, he burned a kit.
Wow.
That's why it's huge. He's tracked out. He probably didn't need to burn it. Maybe. It's a question to ask.
Well, we can ask that another time, as Conflict will sacrifice themselves to get the spot. 4 members from MOPP4 is going to completely rush down 3 members of Strike. White May does manage to get some good shots before he drops, but it may not matter, as 3 members from MOPP4 still are charging down the Western Hill. Fish is now under heavy pressure, as Play-Doh Mega is trying to go for a big shot. Now, Bachrocker has to be careful. He doesn't want to go too far and overextend. He's just going to let his allies do their thing, as the autoloader still has a couple shots. I believe Stagnate was still reloading there.
Yeah, he'll be up in about, I think, 5 seconds or so. He stops. Shots coming out. Here we go.
Oh, Fish trying to get around the corner. He does manage to escape, giving some breath of life. Potato dies again. I'm giving him too much of a hard time, though.
Yeah, you're really
breathing
him.
He's a T1 against a 5100.
Yeah, he doesn't stand a chance. Although I don't know if...
Maria!
She's dead.
Maybe, unless there's some sick plot twist at the end. Depends who's directing this movie. M. Night Shyamalan is. He never did.
I think Clutch
Potato
is actually
ever comes
directing
back
our
again.
movie.
Clutch is directing this movie.
He's
Well, I
directing.
expect a fantastic musical number at the end about maybe the shortcomings of Strike, as currently they are down only 24-25. They got a nice shot off. Was able to recover. In the end, you have to keep in mind the hit point count, though, as you can see that Fish and Bachrocker are both within inches of dying. Fish could just get blown up by almost everything. In fact, he might go down here, but Stagnate, is he on the clip? Is he clipping?
Yes, he is. He is
oh
clipping.
no, that's going to be very cool. This is kind of awkward. Well,
not
no.
an awkward fight at all.
He's not going to be able to get the shot on Stagnate. Stagnate trying to confuse him. Fish is missing shots.
Gotta focus,
He's got to be able to hit him shots, and he doesn't. Stagnate able to completely outplay Fish.
That was side scraping right there.
But
Andre.
Blue Base has been captured, and MOPP4 is able to secure the win. maybe. Oh, the other
Yes.
counter was going down as well, but MOPP4 will secure battle number 3 and jump to a 2-0 lead when we... Welcome to Ruinberg, where we see the initial opening movements. Both teams heading over towards the East Delta Village. Let's go over tank compositions while we have a brief second here, Randall.
Yep, so on the side of MOPP4, we've got a full autoloader team. We've got 3 5100s and 2 T69s. And on the other team for Strike, it's an autoloader loadout, but we've got a 1390 instead of a 5100 here. So Strike trying to be highly mobile next to MOPP4's slightly slower autoloader setup.
Well, maybe that, I mean, we've seen 1390s brought to Ruinberg to get good scouting as Borgata immediately spotted by MOPP4. Still doesn't indicate anything to MOPP4 of what's to come, but that does give some relevance to Borgata, as I don't think he got the full scout on MOPP4's composition, but his sixth sense did light up.
Yeah, he didn't catch anyone. Really amazing. It's really unfortunate if you do that with a scout run. That was an advantage.
Of all things, the 1390 to get spotted.
Yeah, it's
No,
like.
no, Borgata saw his opponent. In the
Oh,
AMX
okay.
5100.
Who did he see? I missed it.
He saw, let me see who it was. I know, it was one of the AMX 5100s that crossed over, and that's obviously a huge tell because he knows, okay, if you're crossing over, then AMX 5100, I know the majority of your tanks are.
Yeah,
Okay,
if he'd
fair
gotten
enough.
the full load, the full just entire team moving over, that would have been so huge. But that's all on Borgata as a scout to do that. He's in a 1390. He's got this great opening move that he can make as a 1390 that can catch the entire team if they're moving quickly over to the east, which they were. And he could have caught all of MOPP4 out, and we would have seen that. Then Strike could have moved up, taken advantage.
Strike was going all the way, gunning down the A line. They weren't really gunning directly for the Delta Village. So even with them seeing the 5100 going into place, the rest of the team were just way too out of position to really take advantage, to react to that type of movement.
Strike was the knight, and MOPP4 was the bishop. And MOPP4, as a result, was able to get there a little bit quicker. How do you like that, Greetor?
Me gusta. A lot of squares you can move with Bishop. Knight has a lot of interesting positional advantages they can take.
That's right, and Strike, they've been the team with interesting positional defenses thus far. Borgata's still making rounds, trying to get some scouts, but hasn't been able to counter-scout the opponent. Randall,
Yes.
I'm going to give you a camo trivia. What's the camo rating on the 1390?
What is it now? What is it nowadays?
I'm asking you.
I don't know. I used to know.
It's 15%.
15%.
Yes.
Huh.
What's the WZ132?
I don't know, man.
15.5.
Oh, that's cool. Now I know that the 132 has a better
Slightly
camo.
better.
Yeah.
And you add like a 80% camo skip crew and plus a net, and you'd be really cool. Be
That's
set.
very cool because camo is now additive
Yeah.
instead of multiplicative.
multiplicative.
Yeah, which is huge because that means the difference between your heavy tank and the light tank is a very, very small percentage.
That's right.
And
It's not as big as it used to be.
And
that's for sure.
light tanks, they get their advantage of camo on the move. As
That's right. It's
opposed
still 15% if the 1390 is moving. So in this regard, if Borgata was unseen, even if he is moving within a certain range, he would still not be
it's
spotted.
still so much less huge than what it used to be. Light tanks used to be just
Yeah.
ninjas moving around in the open. You could just pop up anywhere. I know one time on...
Well, Conflict was not a ninja in that regard. He got blown up immediately by Fish.
Very
In fact, I
unfortunate.
think that's the first significant non-1390 scout for MOPP4.
Wow, yeah. It's really unfortunate to lose Conflict that, although he does have the advantage now of being able to direct his team without having to worry about driving
He
his
took the
own team.
Mac G approach, which is die early so that way you can issue out commands in order.
Very, very clever
And it
tactic
might
here.
result in the 3-0. Wow, I think Mac G might be onto something. If MOPP4 ends up winning this 3-0.
What a brilliant plan. Throw away your T1, guys.
Calculated.
The Mac,
Maybe, Randall.
the Mac attack isn't actually an attack. It's just kill your T1.
That's right. It's definitely something we can explore. Maybe next time we interview Mac G. As he probably is watching and laughing about how silly we sounded.
And how much we're making fun of him for dying so much in his T1.
Mac G, of course, has visited our studios. We have an interview with him, which we'd love to show you guys throughout the content. And of course, if you guys have any ideas of your segments you guys would like, go ahead and submit it to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WGLNA. I know we've been getting more requests for Terry the Intern.
Terry the Intern. Yeah, I think he's in the back right now, probably working incredibly hard because we work him
Because we overwork him.
Overwork
honestly,
him so much. I think he's chained to his desk.
He is.
Oh, good. Okay. No one let him out.
Oh,
Did we
wow,
feed him
Randy.
today?
I'm sure we did. I'm
Okay.
sure someone did. Someone will. If
Sure?
we haven't already.
Okay, because I think we left him in there one night, and he just stayed all night. Working.
That's the
All
sound
night.
of the smallest viola in the world.
Right.
MOPP4 are going to still take a position here in the East Delta Village, just like they still don't have enough information whether or not they can move forward. Of course, Strike, they have the advantage in terms of the camo because they have a lot more bushes a little bit farther up the village.
Yep.
Although, is there a lot of camo opportunities in where MOPP4 is settled?
I'd say MOPP4's position it only has, you know, buildings, really.
Okay.
If you're going to peek around those buildings, there's generally no good bushes. There's a few that you can take, but you can't be that far up. Not in F9 and 0 and stuff. You have to be back in H0, J0, K0, over there.
Okay.
There's some nice bushes there.
Yeah,
and we've seen
that's where the tank destroyers
yeah,
sit all
that's
the time.
exactly. Back there's fine. Fine for camo.
Oh,
It's
I
just-
hate that in pub matches so much. There's just always like a
Yeah.
Sue waiting there, just ready to blow me up.
You think no one's there, but then you find out the hard way.
It's like, okay, it's 11 to 11 right now, which means only 4 tanks are alive. I see 3 of their members. It's like, I really, really hope the tank destroyer is not sitting in this one bush that I haven't checked yet.
and he's
And
sitting in the
it
bushes
always
now,
is.
every time.
It always is. Definitely would be not ideal for MOPP4 to push into Strike in that regard. Although, if it comes down to it, Randall, I'd rather have a building than a bush.
Yeah.
If it comes to cover.
Yes.
Especially since the way bush mechanics have changed.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it, and so many other players are. So many scouts are. It's just it's a hard thing to deal with. T1s, I mean, trying to play a T1, there's so much T1 play that carries over. But the thing is, using certain bushes, you can't. There's certain bushes that used to be viable, but now you're too close to the enemy, or just something like that, and you just get spotted out.
Right. You can't even do some nice pokes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Before, you used to be able to shoot at pretty significantly close range and not get detected because you'd be 20 meters behind the bush. Not the case, or at least according to Rookhill, not the case anymore.
Nope. That 20-meter rule completely gone.
So what's the rule now? It's just that
It's-
within a 100-meter radius, like all bushes disappear if you shoot or something?
If you shoot, it's just bushes. They just work as they do. Now, some people say there's some weird stuff going on, but I mean, it's so hard to figure out new bush mechanics because they decrease the effectiveness of bushes and trees and fallen trees and stuff. So it's a matter of figuring out if your additive camo, if it adds up to something significant enough.
Well, again, I encourage you guys to do some more research if you care a lot, if you're light tanks. Until then, we see MOPP4 has completely evacuated the eastern part of the map and has fallen back to their cap. Now, there are still 2 minutes in this match, and we can still see something happen.
And Strike is pushing just in time for
MOPP4
MOPP4
to actually leave.
Yeah, MOPP4 has gotten straight out. Actually, it's good for MOPP4 because Borgata actually he's in E7 or sorry, E6, and he would have had great shots on MOPP4.
Yeah, if he was in position.
If there were some proxy spots coming out from the rest of his team members.
Oh, but members of MOPP4 conveniently were now looking towards Borgata's way as he's able to cross
Lucky him.
the road. Why did Borgata cross the road?
To get to the other side.
Well, MOPP4 wasn't looking.
Well, that's just too bad for MOPP4 now, isn't it?
I guess that's not why he crossed the road, it's how did he cross the road. So the joke is I have to work on my material.
No, why
To the
is
Bat
the-
Cave!
Why did the 1390 cross the road?
To get a flanking position.
Well, he's getting out of a flanking position. Look,
Oh,
there's battle
you're
buddies.
right. He's actually just going straight on to MOPP4.
Yeah.
And in that regard, MOPP4 is ready to receive. Now, keep in mind, if this battle draws out, MOPP4 wins the match because at best, Strike can go 1-2. Borgata has been spotted. He's been doing a good job getting spotted and not damaged as he is able to stagnate in reciprocation.
Ooh,
the shot has missed and chipped the fence.
But he does take a hit. He's down to 906, and White May takes a hit too.
Uh-oh, and just shots everywhere on to Strike as they have lost hit points spread across a lot of their tanks. Meanwhile, Stagnate finally taking first hits along with Captain No Pants, but it will result in Nemesis being taken out. Another advantage in there. And also, keep in mind, Megumi is actually down for the count as well. A lot of hit points still being drained from Strike. Captain No Pants trying to escape as he has Captain No hit points. Bachrocker is trying to go into a corner and bait out more members from Strike so that way MOPP4 teammates can clean up and be able to get the shots onto Fish as well as Lustburn, but it may not matter because MOPP4 is in
going
such
for
a
the
good
final hit.
position. Yeah.
It's gun.
Oh, wow. Fish is also clipping, trying to get into a position. Fish caught once again, maybe clipping, trying to ram and do something. Lustburn, can he finish it off? No, he's clipping as well. Everybody's clipping.
Draw.
Draw. Okay, so in the end, MOPP4 gets the draw and wins the series 2-1. As Strike at best would go 1-2.